And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Wednesday, May 7th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down a two-game slate coming off of yesterday where we got to watch two more home teams lose their games, including Cleveland choking aggressively. And then Minnesota just not existing? Golden State wins with no Steph? I don't. This NBA playoffs, man, it's a weird one right now. It is a very, very, very weird one. But I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. I wouldn't mind that. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hope y'all are having a good day. I am, but I do hope that you are. Adam in chat says, Ty Jerome fucked me over so bad. Yeah, I think he got everybody yesterday. I think he got everybody. Just about everybody, at least. Almost like he's not as good as people think he is. Could be wrong. I don't know. What do I know? What do I know? Well, I'm excited to talk about this slate, that's for sure. It's another interesting one. Still hit 383 with Jerome. Well, that's better than I can say I did. Let's see. What's the best that I did yesterday? Let me look at the post-contest sims. Nothing good. I mean, I got absolutely nuked. So, and not the good way, like the receiving end. All right. Minimax. Best lineup I had was 327.5. So, not very good. Not very good. Probably doesn't help that I had 93.3% Jerome. That's probably not going to get it done. What a ridiculous end to that game, both from a absolutely poor everything from Cleveland, I guess. Everything they did was wrong. And then if Tyrese Halliburton would just play these games the same way throughout the whole game that he does in the final 2 minutes, I feel like this might go a little different. I think he forgets that he's really good and can take over a game. Because, like, nobody stops him, but he'll go 24 minutes from the second quarter to the third quarter as if he's not involved. I'll never understand it. Donovan was the only one who could do anything. Yes, sorta. Let's look through the data. I think that's a good place to start because they don't play for 2 more days, so we don't want to forget. So I think it would be helpful. Do we have matchup data yet? We do. Okay, cool. There were a couple pretty interesting things from the game yesterday that I thought were weird while it was going on. Because obviously, Donovan Mitchell was just getting to the rim over and over and over again. 43% of the shots that Cleveland took yesterday were at the rim. That is a 99th percentile outcome. The interesting part, though, is that they actually only shot 59.5% at the rim. So, yes, while they were getting there, and the fouls ended up being a bit of a problem, the rim protection was good enough. They just couldn't stop Donovan Mitchell from getting to the rim. Now, ultimately, I guess it all worked out. What were the Donovan Mitchell matchups yesterday? Unsurprisingly, a lot of Nembhard, a lot of Nesmith. you started to see down the stretch that they went away from Nembhard and went to Nesmith more. I think that was the point in time where they started to see that Nembhard was having a little bit more trouble. And I do think that's a direction they go moving forward. But, does Darius Garland ever play? Does Evan Mobley play? This might not matter. And obviously, if you guys watch the game, Donovan Mitchell is not coming out of that game feeling fresh as a daisy. Interested on what I think about Siakam. Oh, we'll get there. Well, look, Donovan Mitchell confirmed good. Nobody's shocked by this. I don't have too much to add for him. Let's circle back to Halliburton. So in this instance, we finally got exactly what I was saying prior to game 1. 4.5 minutes of Isaac Okoro as the closest defender to Tyrese Halliburton. That took Halliburton out of it. Didn't necessarily take the rest of Indy out of it. Not to mention they only had to do that because they were missing 3 guys from their rotation. I think we've seen over the first 2 games that, yes, I do believe Isaac Okoro is better utilized against Tyrese Halliburton. He also really negatively impacts the Cleveland offense. So there's that. Let's take a look at Pascal Siakam. This one made me feel pretty good because I faded Halliburton and Siakam yesterday, not for any reasons of choice, just that's how my data worked out. Siakam had a steady date against Dean Wade yesterday, and that shit didn't go well for Pascal Siakam. I mean, he was non-existent. I said it on playback, I believe. It could have been the Live Before Lock show. I didn't like Siakam with no Mobley. And I know that probably sounds counterintuitive, given Evan Mobley just won the Defensive Player of the Year award. But I think Dean Wade's a worse matchup for Pascal Siakam. Evan Mobley as a rim protector and a help defender or just like a switcher, is close to unrivaled in the NBA. You're not going to have a lot of people where you're just like, I choose this guy over Mobley. You're dumb. That's not a thing. But in terms of like matchup defense, that's not really Mobley's game. Like, I'm not trying to undersell him like he's some dog shit dude, but Dean Wade's a little sturdier. And I think he holds up better in those sorts of matchups. So I'm not surprised that ended up being a worse matchup for Pascal Siakam. It's just the way that their defense ends up being allocated. One thing I didn't look at there. Yeah, look at this again. Man, this is something to pay attention to, depending on if Cleveland gets healthy or not. I pointed this out yesterday, I guess. Your whatever morning. I guess it was yesterday if we talked about this. I watched every possession that Jared Allen ended up on Tyrese Halliburton in game 1. They didn't look great. In the minute 43 that Allen ever ended up on Halliburton, 4 of 8 from the field, 14 team points and 8.5 possessions. Jared Allen can't stop him. We've seen it on countless possessions where Allen gets switched out to him on the perimeter. Halliburton takes him off the dribble immediately. Now, that's not as big of an issue when Evan Mobley is guarding somebody in the corner and he's coming out of the dunker spot to step up on Halliburton. When Jared Allen is at the top of the key and Evan Mobley can't play, and the next line of defense is Max Strus or Sam Merrill or whoever the hell else is left, Halliburton meets no resistance once he gets past Jared Allen. I don't know what the answer to this is. Is it try to get Jared Allen back out of that and deeper towards the rim? I don't know. But that's another 4 of 8. What was it 2 days ago? Sunday, box score, matchups, Halliburton, 6 for 9. So there you go. 10 for 17 for Halliburton on individual possessions. And that's 3.5 minutes. Because obviously Jared Allen isn't guarding him up and down the floor. Jared Allen gets him after screens, after actions, and ends up there. And every time he ends up there, Halliburton can get to wherever he wants to be. S&P, I agree, but what's the answer then? Because this is why it's a problem. 89th percentile for the Pacers in game 2, getting to the rim, 38% of their shots. 72.5% shooting at the rim, 70th percentile. That's the death sentence for Cleveland. If Indy can get to the rim and meet no resistance, how do you, like that? You're dead. You're absolutely dead. And right now, if we're pulling Jared Allen out and there's no Mobley, I don't know what the correction to that is. I don't think Cleveland's finding any supplemental rim protection. So it's something I'm paying very close attention to. The defensive matchups in this series are weird. Is Halliburton's hand a thing, or was that just a temporary injury? I don't know. I mean, I figure 2 or 3 days will be helpful. It's not out of the realm of possibility that like something's broken in his left hand. It shouldn't matter all that much since it's his non-dominant, but Michael Wallace, like 90K. MMA 80 something, 88 and change plus whatever else came in after the first lineup. I don't really remember. And then Golden State and Minnesota. I don't really have a ton to dig into here. It's, obviously Steph hamstring injury. He's going to miss game 2 for sure. I would imagine he misses 3 as well. More likely than not, they're probably dead, but they got the win. So, but from a matchup perspective, I don't have a ton here to look at for Minnesota because I think the context is a little weird. I will take a look at Ant, who primarily had Gary Payton, which is what I would have expected. Gobert and Draymond is no surprise. Butler there, no surprise. We'll treat the Golden State Minnesota one a little bit later. Let's talk about this particular slate. Oh, I cannot believe that Minnesota just laid that egg in game 1. Fact 74 says, when is Josh on projections? That's an interesting question. Fact 74. Let me check the calendar. Beep, boop, beep, boop. That would be today, brother. I'm on tonight. New York Knicks, 10.5 point dogs in Boston. 211 total. This total is 18 points less than Denver and OKC. I just want to put that out there to start. And 40% of the ownership is coming into game 1. 60% of the ownership is coming into game 2. Let me get a little sip of Gatorade here. Feeling parched. Let's get into it. Captain America bleeds. If I coach the Cavs versus the Pacers 10,000 games in the final minute up 7, mind you, I have no experience. I would have lost none of those 10,000 runs. Fire Kenny Atkinson. Well, that's a hell of a take. That's a hell of a take. My guess is that Kenny Atkinson also feels like he can fill the fries and the Happy Meal box up better than you. I think. Pretty confident. Almost like not having Evan Mobley and Darius Garland and DeAndre Hunter is like super important down the stretch. Anyway, Knicks, highest owned guy right now, 30% ownership to OG Anunoby. Got about 25 then to Brunson, Hart, and Towns. Around 20 for Bridges and McBride. 10 for Mitchell Robinson. It's the same story we say for the Knicks every single day. We don't have any injury news for these dudes. The only thing that Tibbs is going to do is play the same guys more. You know, we saw 51 minutes or something from Bridges. 50, 51, 52, whatever the hell it was. So that's certainly on the table. I think it's on the table for Hart. I think it's on the table for Anunoby. It's certainly on the table for Brunson if he can be there as long as he can. This is just not a team that I could ever look at and think I need to take a really big stand. I just can't. They're just too flat. Michael, I don't know about you, but I think we'd all like to get pulled off pretty easily. Like, would I like to have a lot of Jalen Brunson? Yeah, of course. Jalen Brunson, best offensive player on the Knicks. I said it before game one, and I'll say it again here today. I hate this matchup for Jalen Brunson. It's not great to have Drew Holiday and Derek White in your pocket the entire time. There we go. I come from a family of money. That's how I can sit in here and not work. It makes perfect sense now. That makes perfect sense. I bet your family's proud of you. To me, this Knicks team, if I'm rostering them, comes down to getting the wing right. I expect one of Bridges, Hart, or Anunoby to be a dude. I expect one of them to not be a dude. And I hope that it's the right distribution of my ownership. Right now, I'm getting Hart and Anunoby and not Bridges. Now, I'm going to be honest, that scares me. The betting markets don't look great on Bridges. He is a guy that I think can play 10 more minutes than this, basically. Watch who I'm talking to. Where do you think you are? Just FYI, man, you came to me. I'm not on your stream, dude. I'll say whatever I want. That's how this works. Chat, this one's for you guys. What do you want to do with Towns? Because I'm at a loss at this point. Like, is he hurt? Is it mental? Is it really good game plans from two separate teams? Like, I've shared this on the screen a couple times so far, but like, this is Towns' usage rate. What's happening here? What is happening here? I can't figure it out. Like, we're talking about legitimately one of the best offensive players in basketball. Like, say what you will about Karl-Anthony Towns. Offensively, there's a reason he's incredibly efficient and has a high usage rate. It's because he's good. And he's just, for the past month, not shooting. If Karl-Anthony Towns is a 22% usage guy for the Knicks, like, they're not any good. The last thing you want to do is take usage from Towns to give it to other people. For everybody that keeps saying foul trouble, that is not anything that has to do with usage. All of those things are meaningless. Towns could have 5 fouls and still shoot a 3. I can't wrap my head around it. I really can't. Does this plot shot attempts? Does. Okay, so like... Oh, it doesn't plot shot attempts. That's annoying. So anyway, Towns. Like if Karl Anthony Towns is the Karl Anthony Towns we mildly expect, 25% usage, efficiency, like he should probably be more than 24% owned on this slate. But if he's going to keep like pseudo not participating, I don't know, like offensive rebounding, super duper down from the start of the season. Defensive rebounding, trending down a hair. Assist rate, non-existent. They're treating him like he's not Karl Anthony Towns. And that's what's really, really weird to me. So I don't know. But I don't know why he's not shooting. But when he's not shooting, that makes me really interested in that Bridges, Hart, Anunoby trio to try to find out who picks up the slack for him. And then we want to talk about McBride or Robinson off the bench. I'm mostly indifferent to these guys. Like, as long as Brunson's out there, McBride is less interesting other than the fact that he's 3,100. I don't think that Mitchell Robinson makes the Knicks better in this spot, but I don't know. Got him in for 16 minutes right now. I guess we should probably do a little bit of a deeper dive onto Mitchell Robinson. Because I think they have become the benefit, or they have received the benefit of incredible shooting luck. And now I think that I have to figure that out. So when they run the double bigs, Towns, Mitchell Robinson. Let's just look at the playoffs so far. They've played 46 minutes together so far in the playoffs. As a team, the Knicks are shooting 26% from 3 at that point. Their opponents are shooting 34, so no weird shooting luck there. Dude, in the 46 minutes that Towns and Mitchell Robinson have played alongside of each other, the Knicks have a 103.5 offensive rating. That seems bad. Defense obviously going to be better. All right, they're at 119.5 in 93 minutes on the season. 33% from 3. Opponents are shooting 37. Wait, is that real? Ah, that's the opposite direction. Yeah, +7. I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. If I'm ranking the Knicks on DraftKings, I'm going to go Anunoby, Hart, Brunson, Towns, Bridges, McBride, Robinson. If we talk about them on a FanDuel side, pretty much the same story. You're getting that like 30 to 35% ownership on Bridges, Hart, and Anunoby. 25 to 30 on Brunson. 15 on Towns and McBride. Around 10 on Robinson. There's really just nowhere else to go here for the Knicks. Not to mention, the Knicks are the lowest owned team on the slate. They have the lowest optimal. They have the lowest boom. They're just the least interesting team. Now, Boston's a little different today. Sam Hauser is questionable. Or sorry, Sam Hauser is doubtful with the sprained ankle. Porzingis is probable. Now, I'm sure that everybody has a take on Kristaps Porzingis today. I don't. I have no idea what to do with this dude. Like, he could wake up today and feel fine. I think. I am no doctor. Currently projected for 30% ownership. Highest owned guy on the Celtics on the DraftKings side is a little over 35% to Tatum. You've got 30 for Jaylen Brown. You've got 25 for Derek White. You've got 20 for Pritchard and Holiday. And relatively limited on Al Horford at 5K. Guy I got the most of is Kristaps Porzingis. Only have him in for 28.5 minutes. Certainly a bit of a wild card. And I think we're going to have more than enough salary to pretty easily get to Tatum. It should come as no surprise if you've been watching these shows that I have 2x the field of Jokic already. So that will impact some other exposures as you see them. With no Hauser, I think we're going to kind of naturally grab a couple extra minutes out of Pritchard. More so than I was expecting. You know, Derek White to me in this series is sort of just a guy. You know, the perfect dude to get like 20% of. Jaylen Brown couldn't buy a bucket in game one. 7,100 shooting guard small forward eligible today. 29% optimal, 30% owned. I would happily take a bit more of Jaylen Brown. What's the over-under on Boston's three-point attempts? It's got to be like 60, 58, 59, something like that. Let's see. What did we project? Do I have that? Do I have that? I don't think I do. At least not in my sheet the way that I would want it. Let's see. I have them making 15.76. Let's just say they shoot 35%. That'd be 45. I don't know. Something north of 50. Yeah, there's obviously some noise in the tracking data, but at the same time, I can't just go from whatever it was, 45 threes marked as open to wide open. Like, even if you knock all of those down a notch, you call the wide opens opens, you call the opens whatever that next step down is. I think Boston still wants to do all of that. Maybe I need to go through and watch every one of them, track it myself. FanDuel side for Boston. I mean, they're even more balanced, as weird as it says. 35% ownership to Holiday, Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, and Pritchard, with Peyton Pritchard being the most owned guy for Boston on FanDuel at 4,100, $100 cheaper than he is on DraftKings. I don't expect it to happen, but if Boston loses tonight, would be that enough? Would that be enough for you to say the Knicks are the favorites? That would probably put it to like a coin flip to me. I'm guessing it would be pretty close to even. Most I got of anybody was the zinger. We'll see what that ends up looking like by the time we get to lock. I could see the Boston markets moving a bit. I don't expect to get to a ton of Al Horford. I think I'd find the sneakiness of someone like Luke Cornett more interesting. Who's my favorite team to win it all? OKC. Ivan, you're getting it wrong, man. You're getting it in reverse. Boston should absolutely play the 3-ball game the whole game, and they will bury the Knicks. That's how they bury the Knicks. You want to tell me that in the final 2 minutes of the game, when Mitchell Robinson is single covering Jason Tatum and no one is in the paint, that he should go to the rim? 100% yes. I don't like some of the decision-making they made down the stretch. For 45 minutes throughout the game, they should let that shit sail over and over again. That's how they lost, chucking up threes. That is a poor understanding of how people win and lose in the NBA. We should not care at all if those shots are going in. Look, every team in the league should have been doing this for 30 years. Do we think Cat makes that more nuanced, though? Like a layup is a valuable shot, too, and he can't protect the rim. Yeah, so, like, that's my issue. At least use the threat of getting to the rim, especially when Towns is in foul trouble, to open stuff up a little bit more. I am not a fan of the, like, 5-out ISO at the top just so you can get a step back. I don't find that to be good offense. But that has nothing to do with the other, like, 44 minutes of the game where you're just getting them in your offense. Ivan, yes. 100% yes, but it's the threes aren't the problem. The threes are a good thing, full stop. But yes, take advantage of some other opportunities. Okay, we're on the same page. New York's confidence is up and they welcome all those threes. Let them welcome them. They're going to lose by 35 tonight if they keep welcoming those threes. You just got to let them sail. They'll fall. They'll fall. When you're going to take like 20 more threes than the other team, it's really hard to make that shit back up. New York is hungry. Is that what we're doing now? Just Boston's not hungry. They're full. Every team's hungry, man. There's 4 teams left in each conference. They all want to win. They all want to be the champs. Clutch Brunson. Look, Clutch Brunson's going to have a lot of trouble more often than that. But yeah, he could have also just made that bucket. Yeah, that's also true. Like sometimes they're just going to go in. I don't see Boston wanting it. I bet you don't turn ESPN off ever, do you? That's just burnt. That ESPN logo is just burned into the bottom left of your TV. All right, hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Let's see if we got any bets available on the NBA side using that Odd Shopper Portfolio EV tool, which you guys can get by clicking the link in the description, by the way. Let's see. Boston, New York. There's not a single Boston or New York bet listed on the portfolio EV tool right now. We do have one Denver, just Christian Brown. No, we got a couple Denvers now. Christian Brown under 19.5 PRA on NoVig. Aaron Gordon over 8.5 rebounds and assists on BetMGM. And then we got some OKC options as well, which we'll get to shortly. All right. Let's keep it moving and go to Denver. Nuggies, 11-point dogs in OKC. Oh, by the way, Nightbot just dropped the link. That's the one you're looking for here for the portfolio EV tool. I got it up on the screen. You get odd shopper ratings, expected value, shop around to the books, mass bets, parlay builders, odds boost calculators. Do it all on the pick'em sites as well, like Prize Picks and Underdog. You click that link that's in chat right now. It says 7-day free trial. That's exactly what it is. You won't pay us a cent. But if you've never signed up with Odd Shopper before, you'll get it as a 7-day trial. It should come as no surprise that I don't expect the Denver Nuggets to win this basketball game. I certainly didn't expect them to win the first one, but if Nikola Jokic can go for 40 and 20, then it can happen. They're the second most owned team behind OKC. They are my second most owned team behind OKC. I have more of Jamal Murray than I would like to have. $7K, point guard, shooting guard eligible, 35% owned. I don't like it. It's the same reason that I'm mildly anti Jalen Brunson in this series. There's just too many dudes to slow him down. Murray just has Alex Caruso and Lou Dort in his pocket the entire time. It's hard to shake that free and be awesome against something like that. The thing that I want to do for Denver is the same thing that I always want to do. Now, I want to be very clear here. I don't like this in game 2. I tend to use the momentum of a series in my mind a bit. The Nuggets picking up game 1 in OKC and coming into game 2 here makes me terrified to roster Nikola Jokic. Well, okay, maybe not terrified. I couldn't be, it's the least amount of terror I could feel for any individual player because it's Jokic, but I am still very worried about this matchup. I get it. Like when push comes to shove, it's Jokic and I'm going to have him because it's Jokic. But in a game 2, when you're an 11-point dog and you picked up the first one, I have to assume that Mark Daigneault is going at Jokic in a different way. In particular, I just don't think we're going to see Chet on Jokic the same way. I think they have to change that up. And I think they have to use Chet more in a help realm than just being on Jokic. Right now, I'm basically neutral on Michael Porter Jr., who I find fascinating at small forward today at 4,600. We got to remember that he is just a guy that could play 24 minutes or 38 minutes, and all of them are equally as likely. Westbrook at 5K looks really solid. He's 30% owned and deserves it. I don't have as much Christian Brown. I'm not super upset about that. He does strike me as the guy that might be helped off the most today. We'll see. And then, I mean, Peyton Watson appears to be the only other guy that seems like anyway rosterable for Denver. 3,100, small forward, power forward eligible. A lack of Michael Porter Jr. certainly will help Watson here. But I don't have a big stand on anything from Denver other than Jokic. But I am close to neutral on Murray, Porter, Gordon, Westbrook. Hartenstein is cooked by Jokic, and Isaiah is still taller than Jokic. You just don't have that shit Jokic yet. Yeah, nobody does. Nobody does. That's the problem. He's so damn good. I mean, I wouldn't say hardly guarded him, but sure. Well, no one could lock up Nikola Jokic. That's insane. But that's why I don't want to put Chet there. That feels like a poor allocation of resources. I want Chet as help. I want Chet showing up after Jokic beats the first man, just arms everywhere. Point Jokic can't be stopped by OKC. They don't have an answer if you're watching these games. These games, they've played one. A single game. But okay. Let's look at FanDuel for Denver. 40% ownership to Murray. 40% ownership to Westbrook. 30 to Porter, Gordon, and Jokic. 25 to Christian Brown. 15 to Watson. Not all that dissimilar. Obviously, ownership for Jokic is going to be a little different on FanDuel because you can only roster one center. I'm not surprised to see Murray be more popular on the FanDuel side than the DraftKings side, even at a slightly increased price. You know, MPJ at 5K with the MPE is certainly worth a look. Then you get Russ at 5,200 with just point guard. Russ being the most exposed guy for Denver, that's terrifying. For Russell Westbrook to be the most exposed guy for Denver off the bench is scary. Because for every day that's going to look great, there's going to be a day where it doesn't. And game 2 against OKC, trying to fix it at home, strikes me as a day where Russell Westbrook's going to get a lot of freedom. I think today's a day where you could see Russell Westbrook be of a couple from 3 early and have a problem. If I'm ranking Denver, it's Jokic, it's Aaron Gordon, MPJ, Westbrook, Watson, Brown, Murray. Murray will continue to just be my least favorite guy here, regardless of my exposures. The dynamic between Porter and Westbrook is one I'll have my eye on for all day, I guess. Especially keeping an eye on like the relationship and ownership there. All right, let me hit you guys with the schedule for the rest of the day. We've got shows and shows and shows. At 11 a.m., immediately after this show, Laffy will be on the MLB Strategy Show. Eric and Spags will be on MLB Live Before Lock at 5. I'll be with Greg on Live Before Lock at 6. I will also be with Greg on Playback at 7. That is playback.tv/Stokastic. You guys can come and join us. Watch the games along with us. We'll be watching Knicks Boston from 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock. You can subscribe to Playback and watch these games with us for the rest of the season and get yourself a discount code for a single sport package at Stokastic. It's a pretty good deal. Playback's fun. Good place to hang. Good place to hang. Fading Westbrook and OKC is wild. Why? Fading no one anywhere in anything isn't wild. Yeah, nothing's wild. Speaking of Oklahoma City, the highest owned team on today's slate, my highest owned team on today's slate. We've got the number one play of the day on DraftKings in Alex Caruso at 4,300, 50% owned. Makes perfect sense to me. 45% ownership coming into Jalen Williams at 7,400. I'm matching that. Looks good to me. Ranks second. 35% ownership to Shea. Happy to get there at 9,600. You've got another 25 to 30 on Dort, Holmgren, Hartenstein, and Wallace. I am over on Dort and Wallace and right with the field on Holmgren and Hartenstein. And I got about 10% of Joe and Wiggins. I want them all, man. I want them all. I don't know how OKC isn't clearly the best team today. Highest implied total, best pace, best matchup. Everything is on their side. And they're playing at home with the knowledge that they lost game one. I can't have enough of Oklahoma City. John, don't worry, they will. That's what he's here for. It's going to be interesting when we see Alex Caruso playing 30 minutes a night. And if this OKC team was last year's team, we would watch Josh Giddey lose 5 minutes every series until he can't be on the floor. But yeah, Bulls won that one. Obviously, like someone like Dort is out there more so to just ruin the time of Jamal Murray. I do find Lou Dort really interesting if Denver maintains their matchups, because the primary defender on Lou Dort is Jamal Murray. That's a really good matchup for Dort. It's all about whether or not OKC wants to take advantage of it. But if they're going to keep putting Murray on Dort, I think we're going to see Dort in more actions getting Murray involved. So I am a bit of a Dort believer based on Denver's matchups for him. I think Wallace is totally fine as a value guard off the bench. Another guy that can just come in and play some D. Isaiah Joe is always going to be interesting in a series because of his shooting. He's the perfect kind of guy to get to a GPP for, because Isaiah Joe can go out there and make 7 threes today. And then at some point in time, we're going to get an Aaron Wiggins game. We didn't see it recently, but I do want to have a little bit of him. Yeah, Travis, that's what I'm looking for. When Lou Dort can get that ball and Murray is on him, he's got to go right at him. Right at him. Make them react, make them rotate, make them help. It might not end in Dort getting the shot, but they are going to have to help him. And the moment they do that, that's when you start putting Denver in rotation. I think he can be the impetus for this. And that's the sort of the thing I want to see. On the FanDuel side, we've got 5 guys from OKC in the top 10. Jalen Williams at 1. Alex Caruso at 2. SGA at 5. Dort at 9. And Chet at 10. Mr. Humble Crypto, you realize they're the favorites, right? S&P. So I don't necessarily think Dort needs to beat Denver. I just think that is the activity point where they can start their offense. Like, I'm not necessarily advocating for Dort to just be like the highest usage guy on the team in that scenario. Although if he can get to the rim, great. But I think that's the easiest way to get Denver out of where they want to be. Because the easiest way to get them to have to do something is just beating Murray. And predictably, that can happen quite quickly. Mr. Humble Crypto, that is not facts. I don't know if you know what the word facts mean, but we can talk about that if you need to. They are minus 320 to win this series. I can't imagine thinking they're not still a strong team right now. None of that makes a lick of sense. Denver is a proven playoff team and a champion. That has nothing to do with Oklahoma City. That's just a true statement about Denver. OKC sticks with the same starting five. Yeah, of course. Of course. They have no moves there. Let's see. This should be fun. In the playoffs to date, the Oklahoma City Thunder with the plus 14.2 net rating, second highest of any team in the playoffs, third best offense, second best defense. I can't believe how bad these guys have been in the playoffs. Just not as strong of a team, you know? I can't believe that lack of strength from Oklahoma City and having a 14.5 point net rating in 5 games. Do we just not care about truth and facts and shit like that? I see a couple of people asking, why did Caruso start the second half? I think the answer is pretty easy. There's 1 foul for Isaiah Hartenstein. There's 2 fouls for Isaiah Hartenstein. There's 3 fouls for Isaiah Hartenstein. They just kicked it down the road a little bit because he had 3, is my expectation. All those stats, and it's almost like anything can happen in any individual game. Like, yeah, they lost game 1. Do we just assume that every champion goes 16-0? Is that what happens normally? I can't believe the Warriors weren't just 16-0 every time they were in the playoffs. How did they ever lose to anyone ever? You see what we're doing here? See how ridiculous all that sounds? Like, yes, can Denver beat them? Sure. They have Nikola Jokic. But we don't have to act like OKC hasn't been awesome and isn't awesome. Like, it can just be both things at the same time. We don't have to, like, make up nonsense. You want to build some lineups, guys? We got 5 minutes to go here. Let's put the czar on the single lineup sim. Let's figure out what we've got going on here today. First guy in is Jalen Brunson. The next guy in is Isaiah Hartenstein. Oh my God, I'm going to put... I am about to put in both point guards I hate. What a mistake. Let's get Shea. Oi, small forward. Small forward. Josh Hart. Complete the lineup with nobody. Okay. Let's get Shea back out of there. I'm too expensive. Let's put Josh Hart in. And then I'm going to get Caruso for value, complete the lineup, and get Jalen Williams, MPJ, and I don't remember who it was, Hartenstein or Porzingis. Let's see how we look here. Come on, 60%. Oh, 43.6. Okay, I think I can correct this one. I think I could correct this one. So if we get rid of I'm going to axe Porzingis, Hartenstein, and MPJ. Just out of curiosity, if I didn't pick, can I even do it with Jokic? If I put Jokic in, I got to take Brunson out. That gets me Pritchard, Dort, Westbrook. Let's see it. Got it. 78.5. Peyton Pritchard, Jamal Murray, Jalen Williams, Josh Hart, Nikola Jokic, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Russell Westbrook. Boom. Michael, I feel like your job is to come in here and just say things that light my fire. Do I think there's too much parity in the NBA right now? 7 of the 8 teams that are in the playoffs right now are the same 7 teams that were in it last year at this time. The only one that's not there is the Mavericks, and I think we could both figure out why that happened. What parity? What parity? This isn't hockey. We're going to get to the end of this season. Boston's going to play Indy or Cleveland in the second round. OKC is going to end up playing whoever the hell comes out of Minnesota and Golden State. And then we're going to watch the 2 best teams in the league play each other in the finals, just like we expected to happen 8 months ago. What parity? Seven of the 8 teams are the same at this point in time in the playoffs, and the only one that isn't traded away a generational superstar and everybody shit on them. You can't have parity in the NBA unless they really start doing some weird salary stuff. The best teams win. Pretty much always. Let's build FanDuel. Appreciate having you here for that one. Positive ROI absolutely does win tournaments. That's an insane thing to say and makes no sense whatsoever. That's an absolute insanity. Nikola Jokic. Where in the world is the value? Oh my gosh. Look at this on FanDuel. So I have this sorted by points per dollar. Look at the salaries of these guys. The best plays on FanDuel by a mile are all expensive. 8,200, 11,700, 10,800, 71, 10K, 76, 74, 75. Yikes. Where do you go for value here? Go look at the top 5 line. Yeah, you don't understand what you're doing. That's what you're telling me. You have a 0% understanding of what that data is. Woof. I don't know how people could be teachers. Truly. Caruso in shooting guard. I don't know where to save salary here. I guess Dort. I need one more here. Hart, I guess. We complete the lineup. All right, so this is Westbrook, Pritchard, Bridges, Caruso, Hart, Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet, and Jokic. Look, I'm only going to be hard in situations where people speak in confidence and are wrong. I'm happy to have fun conversations and dig into this kind of stuff. But if you're going to roll into chat and think you're correct, I'm going to let you know when you're not. It's not going to get us anywhere to just have people say things that aren't correct or true. We don't have to do that. 52.2% sim ROI on that FanDuel lineup, by the way. I'll take it. I'll take it. 2 up, 2 down. Boston and OKC right the ship today, and we finally get a home team winning in this series. But I'm excited to watch both of these games. I am really excited to watch Knicks-Boston because I am really hoping Boston just beats the brakes off of these guys. I'm very anti-Knicks. So hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Contenders are out on my Twitter. I'm going to record the video version of it right now. We got a lot to talk about later tonight. But for right now, guys, I need you guys to do me the biggest favor in the world. Please go tell Laffy I said